What up, big fella?
What's happening, man? Booger was on earlier, man. Didn't he win it with the Colts, huh?
That's right.
Yep, they were down in Miami for that one,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man, they beat the Bears.
You've been around football your whole life. How different is this game? Like, how different is everything that is around this game?
Well, I think it's all about everything that leads up to it. Way different than any other game you ever be a part of. Whether it's the national championship, which I've not been a part of, I just witnessed it, and also the Super Bowl. You get 2 weeks to prepare for it. You're pretty much tired of looking at film by the time you get to see these guys. I mean, I was tired of answering questions about Peyton Manning and this offense. I was tired about all the other things, Dallas Clark and all the other things that this Indianapolis Colts presented to us, the problems. I was just ready to kick the game off. And then when you get there, the biggest thing is the first kickoff, you really feel all the flashing lights on the kickoff. Like, it's so many flashing lights going off at one time. You feel it. And as you're running down, and then after that, the game kind of settles in. And then it's just like every other game.
The remember me shots comment that Greg Williams made. What did that, like, in preparation? I know that Sean Payton in the aftermath talked about how he didn't like it, but in the moment, in getting prepared for that, how did you guys react?
Look, man, when it comes to Greg Williams, there's nobody better at preparing the defense for mental warfare. Like, that's what it's all about. You know, you can use certain words to try and say whatever, but at the end of the day, it was just like, hey, just make sure when you hit guys, they remember you.
Yeah.
Right? Don't let them just, like, get right up. You know, Greg always talked about turning the head, right? So anytime a running back or anybody was going towards their end zone, he's like, mentally, when they're getting up and their head is facing the other way, it just does something to them mentally. So turning the head, turning the body on them. Little things like this. This was all mental warfare that we all had bought into at one point in time. So for us, that's what it was more about, was like mentally. Because in the NFL, there's no rules meant for the advantage of defense. So the only advantage you have is fear.
Oh.
So those are the little things that you tried to create in those people's heads and minds, because they look at the same film that everybody else is looking at. So if you're turning the head or remember me type shots, right, those are the things that you're just trying to create mentally, because now the wide receiver, instead of trying to get that extra 2 or 3 yards on the sideline, or that quarterback now, they're just going to run out of bounds. Those are the things that you're trying to create.
Do you see this game this Sunday as an offense with Kansas City versus a defense in San Francisco?
I think that's the easy answer. But really, real talk, I think it's going to really come down to how is Kyle Shanahan going to go against this Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo. Like, I'm really looking forward to how they're going to try and establish the run. I know they're going to do a lot of bootleg, a lot of rollouts, getting the quarterback Garoppolo on the move, not allowing him to just stay in the pocket. And how is that going to work? I want to see, because I think Kansas City Chiefs, their defense gets better the more and more their offense that they're facing is put into passing situations. It really allows Tyrann Mathieu to really kind of play the superior role that he's in right now in Kansas City, where he's kind of a jack of all knives. He's playing the nickel. He's a safety that's always moving around, doing some different things. I think he's in a great comfort zone, and I think they figured out who they are. I think Rashad Breeland's really kind of helped solidify a corner, a spot that they felt that they were weak at last year. He's a great tackling guy as well. So I really enjoy watching this Kansas City defense versus the 49ers offense, because also if the 49ers offense has success when it comes to running the ball and doing things like that, it's going to keep the Chiefs offense off the field, which is sometimes the best defense, because we already know the Chiefs in this offense, with all the speed and all the other things that they present, the problems with Patrick Mahomes, it's really hard to stop. They're going to score regardless of whoever they're facing. It's just going to be about how much can we hold them to.
Ro, you mentioned Steve Spagnuolo's name. You were on that 2012 defense with him, right? Like,
terrible.
so how does that happen?
Dude, we suck. I mean, what do you mean? How does it happen?
Well, I mean,
right,
I guess he is the guy who once. Finish.
How does it happen? I'll tell you how. All right, we lost all of our coaching staff. Nobody knew what we were doing. Also, but that's a built-in excuse. At the end of the day, Spags was running a defense that is successful with 4 down linemen passing, getting after the passer, right, and not really, creating blitzes and doing like this. We went from a very blitz, man-to-man heavy scheme to literally right next to like this more zone, different kind of concepts, 4-man rushing type scheme, which our D linemen were not built for that. We didn't have Will Smith the highest sacks Will Smith ever had in his whole career. It was like 10 or 11, right? Like, so it's not like we had these guys that were just amazing pass rushers up front. And the linebackers were not ready for it. The secondary was not ready for it. We were more of a man-to-man secondary team, and now we go to a totally different scheme. And we were not on the same page. The communication was not great. It was a lot of things that just were not clicking for us. And sometimes you just run into that buzzsaw. We were not good. When we were competitive defensively, offensively we were not good. And offensively, when we were really good, defensively we were horrible. So you just put it all together, it was just not good.
Patrick Mahomes, how would you defend him?
You know, the biggest thing is you really can't defend him. You're hoping that you can disguise some things, really try and mix him up, because his arm and all these other things, that speed of that offense really presents a lot of problems. I think San Francisco is really going to have to really try and disrupt him with a pass rush of 4 guys up front. If these guys can affect Patrick Mahomes, I think that is how they're going to win this game. Because everything can be, all your game planning and all the things you draw up on the board looks really good until the pass rush really starts to affect you. Now Patrick Mahomes is not accurate. His feet are not under him, which isn't always a problem for him because he has the arm strength. But that is how I think. And if you can get a turnover or 2 in the third quarter, maybe late, that is how you win this game if you're San Francisco. And I think you got to be able to run the ball. I think it's all about San Francisco's offense controlling this game, less about their defense, because their defense is going to do what it's going to do. But Kansas City offense is going to do what it's going to do as well. So I think it's all about the Chiefs defense against the San Francisco's offense.
Ro, so this game is in Miami. You won a Super Bowl in South Beach. What was that post-game party like?
Oh, my gosh. It was awesome. That was another thing. Because, we can talk about all these other things. Let's really talk about what it really is all about, which is about winning this mother sucker and then going out and partying. Because that's what it's all about, right?
And then going out and partying. Hell yes, bro. I get it, man.
That's
yes.
what it's all about. All right? So, like, having a Super Bowl in a place like Dallas, terrible. Everything closes at 2. All right? So by the time I'm done, showered up, it's like 1 o'clock. Closed. I don't get to do anything. All right? You go to somewhere like L.A. where they're shutting it down at 1:30, 1:45. You're out. Dude, that's terrible. I can't do anything. Place like Miami, things don't shut down until 5 a.m., 6 a.m. if you're searching for it. So that is where it's all about for me. Places like Miami, New Orleans, Vegas would be another place. These are the places where they should be hosting Super Bowl because the nights do not stop. So then after I win this joker, I can go out and enjoy being a Super Bowl champion. And wearing that hat in the club is guaranteed winning. I
promise. Let's go.
Yes. Man, Roman, we met 15 years too late, bro. I should have been your personal assistant.
I can see the wistful look in Jordy's eyes.
Good Lord. And the reason, when I knew it for real is when you told us about your off seasons in the middle of the year that you used to go out to L.A. and just hang out there, get the training done. You rented the house in Beverly Hills. Man, good Lord. But I got to ask you.
Yes.
I got to ask you this because I'm going to bring it down a little bit. My bad on this. But just because of the news, and you're a professional athlete, and I got to ask you, from a pro athlete to a pro athlete, the news that started the week with Kobe Bryant on Sunday morning, it affected everybody because he was a he's been the face of the generation, of this generation as far as NBA and basketball goes. How did it affect you?
It was huge, man. First and foremost, everybody that knows me knows I rock with 2 teams, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So for being a Lakers fan for so long in my life, and now and being, having Kobe for 20 years and just, I've been to all these games. I've been to Staples Center to watch. I have all kinds of jerseys. I'm going in my man room just right afterwards. And all the Lakers paraphernalia I have in my man room is all Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
And it's just sad to, see not only that he lost, the way it happens. Like, you just don't expect your superheroes or your heroes to be cut short, right? They're supposed to live long, like Bill Russell. You're supposed to see him continue to pass on the torch and talk about all these other things, especially somebody that had so much to give, intellectually, mentally, the Mamba mentality, all these other things. And, my wife surprised me on my 34th birthday here in Carolina on the Kobe's little farewell tour when he was in Charlotte. And I got to meet him.
Wow.
So somehow she got a hold of his people, and he was excited to meet me, and we were undefeated at the time. And all he could talk about after I met him, right, was like, man, y'all go finish it off, right? Go be a champion. All the great things that, that Kobe would say, right? And he's just talking to me. I'm just looking at him in his eyes, and my wife was like, dude, you look so creepy. Staring into his eyes and just listening to him. And I just wish I would have just asked him, like, man, what was it like when you're in that zone to go get 55 in the second half of that 81-point game? Or, just some other, generally like Kobe-type moments, right? And I did not get that chance. When I had the chance, I just was frozen up. So I was just starstruck. But and now to see that, he's passing, and then you go right to his family, like, man, what are they going to do? And then, I know how much he meant to his daughter, Gigi. And then next, you find out that she was in the helicopter with him. And not only that, but some of her other teammates and those families, man, it's just sad. And for those that lost a mother, that the father woke up like, man, I still got 3 kids. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So any of you a father and a parent, that just hits you so hard because life is so delicate, man. And just, make sure we hug the ones that we have and tell them that we love them every day because you don't know when time will really happen.
Bro, you're the best, bro. Thank you, man.
Hey, thanks, guys, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Jordy, just know, bro, you would have been my boy because my boy won my Super Bowl hat that night. Winning.
Oh, bro. God.
Wait. Who wins on Sunday? Before I let you go, who wins on Sunday?
I don't even care
so
anymore.
my heart, and I want Andy Reid to win it. I love
me too.
Patrick Mahomes, a young guy. But I'm telling you, man, I think the 49ers have been the best team in the league all year long.
Damn.
So I'm going with the Niners.
That's Booger and Roman said the Niners are
Yeah,
winning.
those are two smart guys.
All right, bro, we'll talk to you next week, man.
Everybody says that, man. All right, guys, can't wait. I'll see you guys.